recently, I made a video talking about the character of Lila, aka Cerise, or rather, now known as Cerise, I guess. Still not really used to the name change, but yeah, whatever. Made the video discussing what the future of the character might look like going forward into the next season, with her as the show's main villain and the wielder of the Butterfly Miraculous. Plot points, potential arcs, intrigue, drama, rivalries, I dug into all of that. And yeah, I think it was well received, in my humble opinion. But there was one thing that was really standing out to me in the comments. A number of people asked me to talk about the Lila and Manon theory, which surprised me because I had no idea there even was a theory about this, that there was any linked discourse or theorizing about these two characters in particular. But apparently there is, and some of you guys wanted my thoughts on it. And look, normally I wouldn't go in on the very crack theories, but hey, once upon a time, the idea that Adrian was actually a sentient feather monster sounded kind of stupid and outlandish, but now here we are. It turns out he is a sentient feather monster. So I guess what I'm trying to get across with all this preamble is that no matter how dumb something might seem at first, no matter how unlikely it might be, there's always a chance you could see it play out on screen, at least in the world of Miraculous Ladybug. Thank you, Asterisk. But yes, now that's out of the way. The theory is that Lila, or Cerise, but I'll just go with Lila, because that's the name we all know her as, is actually a time-traveling Manon from the future. Yes, that is the theory that's been cooking up. And I don't think it's reached the heights of popularity that the Senti theory has, or anything like that, but as crack theories go, it does have a decent following if you go off videos and TikTok and all that. So of course, time for me to cash in and milk this for everything it's worth, eh? And that's the video for today. Taking a look at this theory and the evidence that's been provided, and making up my mind as to whether I think it, well, makes any sense at all. Would it be a good thing to have it play out on screen? Does it have any chance at all of being real? Okay, so we'll start off with possibility. Technically, this theory, outlandish as it is possible in the confines of the show. We've seen it a whole bunch. Time travel, it's doable. Time Tagger had his own custom powers that let him travel through time, and the Rabbit Miraculous is fully capable of doing that too, either through somebody using it, or maybe the Kwami going nuts and using its power on its own. And I'm pretty sure if the rabbit used its power on its own, it would just randomly send shit through time. That seems to be what happens whenever the Kwami uses its power. Things generally go wrong. And I don't think you'd actually be able to fix it unless there was an Akuma or something involved so Ladybug could reverse things. So I guess that would explain why Lila would be stuck in the past, especially when things are usually repaired by the Ladybug Miraculous. So there is a possible explanation as to how it might happen. It's not out of the realm of possibility, I suppose, and the mechanics exist within the story that could facilitate something like this. It's possible. It's doable. It could happen. And I guess then you got to decide, what would her motives be? Like, how do you go from having her be this cute little girl that loves the heroes and loves Marinette into the literal worst person in the show in terms of her morality? And when you think about it, logically, there really isn't much that could explain it. Like, you'd either have to have Marinette be a truly terrible babysitter who fosters resentment in the children placed in her care, which, well, that's a stretch that would make a gymnast proud. I honestly just don't see how you could twist the story to make that justifiable whatsoever. She seems like a sweet kid. Yes, she's very unpopular in the fandom, but in the show itself, they find her sweet. So either you have to start writing her to be majorly out of character and just start hating on everybody in the cruelest ways, which would certainly be a choice when writing, a 4-year-old? I mean, surely that's pushing things a little far. I mean, Asterisk does seem to think that some kids are just irredeemable scumbags and should be shamed and their lives utterly destroyed, with any redeeming features in their entire character stripped away entirely and tossed into the garbage, but I still don't see it happening. It doesn't seem very plausible to write her this way, or for this to be the end goal for her character. It requires a whole lot of time travel setup, and the complete demonizing within the story of a little girl. Because let's be real, Lila is a monster. Literally not one redeeming quality about her at all. So, already just based on that, it's a no from me, dog. But that being said, Manon, she is super unpopular. At least from what I've seen in the fandom doing the legwork for this video. But, you know, I guess anything's possible. And it wouldn't be too out there for the creators to riff off of that and double down on her hateable characteristics. But I just think the theory is not good. And that's just based on my own instant thoughts and reactions. I haven't even dug into the evidence yet. But that being said, I was interested to see what sort of evidence they were using to justify their thoughts. I mean, maybe they had some good evidence, some excellent analysis that got them cooking on a top tier theory. And they didn't, you know. The theory is kind of bad and the evidence they use is weak as hell. Check this out. Here is an example I've seen. Manon has the little purple flowers on her dress. They look like they could be lilacs. Lila's name is close to the word lilac. If you think this is weak evidence, good. It does not get any better. Lila sounds like lilac, and she has lilacs on her dress. That is it. You can make connections with anything like that. Observe. Manon. In French, Manon is a diminutive for the name Marie. Marie is a form of the name Mary, which can mean wished for child or star of the sea. But let's take that meaning number one. So Manon must be the wished for child, right? So therefore, is she a sentimonster? Right? Yes. My crackpot piece of shit theory has the same amount of evidence as the Lila equals Manon. But let's go back. Maybe we can connect them together even more, right? If Mary means wished for child, we can link Mary to Jesus after all. Jesus was the wished for child of humanity in general. Our saviour, was he not? Mary is Jesus' mother, and she's the literal star of the sea. Jesus was born at night on Christmas Eve, and by some definitions, Lila means night. So Jesus was born from night, born from Lila. Interesting. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yes. That's right, Lila is actually a time-traveling Manon from the future who is going to go further back in time and become the Virgin Mary and give birth to Jesus Christ. I know, right? I'm right on the money with this theory. I mean, we're talking Mary, the Virgin Mary, Mother Mary. She is known as one of the all-time great mothers. And who has a lot of mothers? Lila does. So she's had so much time to learn from all these different women as to how to be the best mother possible, preparing her to bring forth the future Messiah. But we can take this even further, can't we? Because we have Chris Laheath. Manon and Chris are friends. And we know that Lila's Manon, right? And we know that Lila's the Virgin Mary. But let's take a look at Chris. Chris, short for Christoph maybe? Christoph leads to Christopher. Interesting, because that name means Christ bearer, as in bearing Christ. Interesting. Fathers often carry their children. If Jesus is Christ and he's bearing Christ and fathers carry their sons around, maybe he's Joseph. I mean, he does have a Christmas themed episode after all, and we've seen that Lila's willing to change her name at the drop of a hat, so why not Chris? It's all coming together now. Get on your tinfoil hats. We're going to the moon. Also, before we continue, sometimes in the comments, whenever I say stuff like Jesus or God or whatever, somebody's raging at me in the comments for being blasphemous. I'll say this, son. Jesus would enjoy this premium crack theory, and you know it. So yeah, did you enjoy this brand new theory that I just cooked up? That's right, I've just solved the mystery of Lila. In under a minute, I saved the day. Asterisk, are you taking notes? This is the storyline for season 6. I promise you that. Sarcasm, in case you haven't noticed. Because this evidence that I just invented, this complete and utter bullshit, it is about as believable as the Lila is Manon, the time traveler. Like, what is this evidence? They have similar flowers on the dress and it sounds like the name. Like, what is that? And the rest of the evidence is no better. I mean, some of the shit I've been reading. Similar skin tone, which is like, what? How does that prove anything? Some videos have said that they both got akumatized. I mean, Marinette's mum and Kagami have similar skin tones and both got akumatized. You're going to tell me that Kagami's going to time travel back, stick around, marry Tom and give birth to Marinette? Ooh, they both have similar bluish hair, ooh. Another piece of dubious evidence was their connection to Chris. What? Like, Alia's sister have been in scenes with Chris too. Nino has been in scenes with Chris. Marinette has been in scenes with Chris. Is one of them a time-traveling Manon as well? Like, I get that Lila has a mega mysterious backstory, right? And it could potentially involve time travel. But her being Manon feels like a twist for the sake of having a twist and would honestly be really shit. There is no proof of any of this. Like, this is like when people thought that Zoe was Adrian and Marinette's time-traveling child before she debuted. Thankfully, that was largely debunked before she confessed her love to Marinette. But yeah, some theories I just don't understand why they're cooking this stuff up. I really don't understand. I guess you gotta start somewhere. So yeah, this theory, thumbs down from me, but of course it's just my opinion. And so now I'd like to hear yours. What did you think of the theory? Did you like it? Hate it? You agree with it? Disagree with it? What about my theory? Did you like that one? I'm curious for your thoughts, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know